there, Ishbel here. I am going to explain what one of the tools is that I use as a nutritional therapist with all of my clients. It's called the NutriQ. It's an online questionnaire that asks you all sorts of questions regarding symptoms that you might be experiencing. And then what that system will do is it'll print out all sorts of different reports for me, including a graph. That's really handy for getting a picture of what's happening with the body in current time. Something always to keep in mind when you work with me, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor. It is not my job to diagnose. I always ask that my clients see their physician before they start working with me so that they can get any baseline tests taken care of. And that as well just eliminates any kind of stress that doing these initial questionnaires might bring up. We know that we're starting from a baseline of basic health, and we're working in the direction of improving energy, mood, weight loss if that's an issue, or also helping to support more chronic situations like autoimmune diseases. So here is an example of a NutriQ printout. What's important to know about this is that these organs are listed in order of priority. So it's a little hard to see on this video, but all of the digestive organs are listed at the very beginning. And those of you who have worked with me before, you know that we go through this in detail. I essentially give all of my clients a lesson in digestion and how the digestive system affects every area of the body and really affects every area of our lives. So, get this top off here. What we've got here is the large intestines first. When you eat your food, that's its first stop. Okay, so if I see that we've got some high numbers here in the large intestines, things that you can do today to help improve your large intestine function is to chew your food really thoroughly, to try to eat in a relaxed state, because digestion only works when you're in a parasympathetic state. And then also increasing things like stomach acid. Easy thing to do is to take a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar before each meal. That'll help your stomach to start to produce more hydrochloric acid or stomach acid. We can also do more focused stuff like taking hydrochloric acid supplements that can help improve the functionality of the stomach. Next, we've got liver and gallbladder. So liver and gallbladder is a reflection of both how well you're digesting your fats, but also any load that your liver might be under, any stress that the liver is under, which can happen for all sorts of different reasons. The liver is a major detoxifier, so we want to look and see how clean the diet is, and if we need to clean up any kind of processed foods going on there, or even heavy metals, what you're putting on your skin. Skincare has a lot to do as well with the liver, how healthy your house is, air quality, etc., etc., etc. But again, baseline thing that you can start with today is improving digestion of fats. Always goes back to how that food is first entering your stomach, improving those functionalities first. But then when it comes to processing and digesting fats, eating good fats is huge. So avoid vegetable oils like the plague. Please avoid those. Also canola oil, I am not a fan of. I know that that's kind of the popular fat these days, but the process that canola oil goes through to become canola oil is disgusting and toxic. So avoid that. Things like grass-fed butter, olive oil, ghee, avocado oil are all really good options. Do keep in mind though that each one of those fats has a different cooking level or heat that they can sustain before they start to go rancid and then start to negatively affect your health. So pay attention to that. Small intestines. Small intestines, again, is going to be affected by what's going on in the stomach. Small intestines is where we absorb most of our nutrients. So here again, we're looking to fully chew our food. Therefore, your food can actually get broken down and be prepared to be absorbed in the small intestines. There's a lot that goes on with a healthy small intestines. A very common digestive disorder these days is something called SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. There are a lot of treatments and therapies that we can do to help improve small intestine functionality. But small intestines, again, are real important because, of course they are. Everything on this sheet is important. But small intestines is where we absorb most of our nutrients. So we need to be looking at the health of that. Then we're going on to large intestines. Your colon, that's where you're trying to get any residual water or nutrients out of your food before it exits out of your body. This is also the place where your body produces a lot of nutrients like vitamin Bs. The large intestines has a massive population of gut microbiota. It's a pretty incredible land, the large intestines is. But a lot of times the bugs, if you will, in the large intestines can get out of balance, and that can start creating all sorts of different digestive issues and health circumstances. There are a lot of GI mapping tests that I use with my clients that help to clarify what's going on in the large intestines so that we can build a healthy microbiota and improve overall health. So here, these first four that we talked about, digestion, those are the organs that we focus on the most whenever anybody works with me, because again, what's happening with these organs is going to affect everything else down the line. So we've got to clear this up first. Remember, things that you can do right away: chew your food well, try to chill out when you're eating, eat good fats. And the thing that I didn't talk about is try to cut out as much processed food as you possibly can. Focus on fresh produce, fresh meats. Buy meat and animal products that have been properly raised, responsibly raised, organic versus pesticide laden. That's going to help your liver out a lot. So those are big ticket items that you can start doing right now. Okay, so now we're down to minerals. So minerals, again, is going to be highly linked up with what's going on with your digestive system. As I mentioned earlier, small intestines is where you're absorbing a lot of your nutrients. If your digestive system is struggling, you're going to struggle with mineral absorption as well, which down the road leads to things like osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is complicated for sure. It's not just about digestion, but digestion helps. Fatty acid. Fatty acid balance is, again, if I can draw a line here, going to be linked up with liver and gallbladder function. We want to see that the gallbladder is working well, therefore you can absorb the fats that you're eating. I'll also see a high number in fatty acids when people are eating suboptimal fats like vegetable oils. Vegetable oils, keep in mind, are found in all sorts of processed foods, baked goods. They're in a lot of stuff, so you really got to read your labels. Cottonseed oil, soybean oil, corn oil, any of those oils, there's a lot of them on that list. Those are all going to make this fatty acid number jump up and are going to load your liver and gallbladder and create a lot of unhealthy situations in your body. Sugar handling. Sugar handling is, what does your body do when you eat sugar? How well is your pancreas and your liver working together to help store that sugar? How quickly is it able to process that? Is eating sugar affecting your mood or your energy or your metabolism? A lot of times where I'll see sugar handling being a big issue is for people who have what's called hangry, the technical term, when you get hungry and you get really cranky. Getting ahead of that with your diet so that we can start to make some changes in the diet so that you're not feeling those major sugar crashes. You can also see sugar handling reflected in people who feel really dizzy, who have headaches. Across the board, sugar handling is really important. Best way to deal with sugar handling issues is to improve fat consumption and to improve liver and gallbladder. And remember, your stomach and how well you're processing your food from the get-go is going to affect liver and gallbladder processing. So as you can see, it's all working together. Vitamin needs is again related to minerals, again looking at how the small intestines is functioning, and again looking at how the stomach is functioning to affect the small intestines. Adrenals. Adrenals are highly affected by sugar handling and fatty acids. Adrenals are a fight or flight responder, but they also manage blood sugar handling and hormones. They've got a lot of jobs. They can be very overwhelmed. So it's really important to eat a diet that's going to support your adrenals. So again, healthy fats, lots of fresh produce, organic, good healthy meats, avoid the processed foods. That will take you a long way in the right direction. Adrenals as well. If you're feeling super stressed, try to meditate, get your rest, try not to push yourself so hard, okay? Pituitary and thyroid, these are all looking together between adrenals, pituitary, and thyroid are all looking at hormones. If we're seeing higher numbers through here, this is where we might ask for additional tests, get your thyroid checked, make sure everything is okay there, and then progress from there to, again, support the digestive system, look at some lifestyle things that we can help to address that. Men only, this is a 0 for this person because she is a lady, okay? And then we've got women only symptoms. Female only symptoms can be affected by all sorts of things. I mean, if you're on any kind of birth control, this number can oftentimes be high because birth control can sometimes have that sort of effect. So we'll talk about what could be affecting these numbers. But again, you might see a pattern here. We're going back, all right, looking at these fundamental pieces before we start getting down the line. Cardiovascular, heart, again, really good fatty acids, very important to heart disease. Eating vegetable oil is going to make your heart be quite unhappy, okay? Kidney and bladder, looking at water consumption, drink half your weight in ounces in water per day. If you have coffee or wine or any kind of diuretic, you need to multiply the number of ounces of diuretic that you're having times 1.5. And that is how much extra water you need to drink in order to deal with the dehydration factor, okay, of those diuretics. Lastly, immune system. A lot of times people's immune system numbers are high. Again, one of the main factors we need to look at is what is going on in your digestive system, specifically the small intestines. If food is not digested well, what can happen is that, say you ate chicken, once it hits the small intestines, if it hasn't been digested well, is still going to be chicken when it's in the small intestines, rather than being an amino acid that your body can actively absorb. In that scenario, oftentimes those food particles will actually puncture a hole in the small intestines and move into the bloodstream. Once that happens, your body's going to start responding to that chicken like it's a foreign invader. And not only then is that chicken not benefiting your health, but it's also creating an immune response. This is oftentimes where we start to see people having a lot of different food reactions. And sometimes they have no idea that they're having a food reaction. But, you know, I always look at this for people who have really high anxiety. The adrenals are going to get very upset when there's an immune response, because the adrenals need to come in and help bolster the immune system so that the immune system can respond to what it's perceiving as being a foreign invader. Okay, so I hope that these points have helped explain this a little bit. Remember, good fats, good meats, lots of fresh produce, you'll be good to go. All right, thanks so much.